This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to rumble!
For our next topic, I have to set the stage a little bit. Back in February, Jackson Flickinger dropped a take in the Fear the Sword group chat that was so scorching hot, it literally burned my eyebrows off. And of course, we all shot him down. We let him hear about it. Looking back, maybe we were a little too harsh. Full disclosure, I'm still not entirely on board with this take. I still disagree with it, but keeping in the spirit of the Cavs and Lakers, I'm going to share it with you today. Is Darius Garland destined to be another D'Angelo Russell, a.k.a. a player who peaks early with an all-star season and then has their development plateau and never makes another leap? Colb, where do you stand on this?
I'm out on this one too. Like I wouldn't get that down on Darius yet. To be fair, having a rough season. Rough for a lot of different reasons, a lot of injuries. I actually think he's been more hurt than people would actually know. Like I think he's dealt with a lot more this season than I think people are aware of, and I think that's a big part of it. He's lost like 13 pounds when he broke his jaw. Couldn't eat food, still hasn't gained the weight back. And I think that's drastically impacting the way that he's playing basketball right now. But he's not destined to go on the D'Lo track. D'Lo, who's having a really good season for the Lakers, by the way. I just want to throw that out.
Yeah, to be fair, I think he has grown a little bit as a player for sure.
Yeah, he's having a really good season for the Lakers right now. But I think the thing with Darius is just that all the injuries, missing time, really hasn't been able to get back to who he is physically, has contributed to the down season that he's having. I don't really think it's a regression. I just think it's an unfortunate season. I think he's just having an unfortunate season. I think he'll be better next year. I do wonder, though, if Donovan Mitchell extends, if still being here is the best thing for his career going forward. Because listen, he was an all-star. He was an all-star just 2 years ago, and even last season, I actually thought he was better last season than he was in his all-star season.
Yeah,
and he didn't make it. So people were just like, "Oh, like he hasn't been an all-star. He hasn't done X, Y, Z." I think he's really, really, really good. But if D. Mitch is here, I wonder, does he kind of want to get somewhere where he can show it? You know what I mean? And so people aren't comparing him to D'Angelo Russell and things like that.
Yeah, Jackson, you're wild for that one. But I did get the point that he was trying to make, which is just maybe DG has hit his ceiling earlier than we expected. I don't agree with it. Again, I think a great point is just that I think the season he had last year was better than his all-star season. I think he looked like a more complete player, and as kind of controversial as it probably is to say, I think he has flashed moments this season where he looks more like a complete player than he did in that 2021 year. He started off the year killing it in the paint. His three-point shot wasn't falling, and he was making some careless decisions with the ball, but like that improvement that he made in the paint was a carryover from the year before. It would have been 2 years in a row of having a career best year at the paint and drawing free throws. And obviously the jaw injury affects that. As far as the D'Lo stuff, I don't think we need to compare them as players. I think most people would acknowledge DG is better. I don't think D'Lo ever controlled the game as much as DG did when he was at his best. And even like the growth that DG has shown this season, it's a career high for assisted field goal attempts. He's operating with less touches. Now, those numbers might have changed in this recent stretch now that Donovan Mitchell's out. But prior to that, it was career best. And another aspect that I think, listen, I don't want to be a shameless DG defender, but no one would ever consider DG a defensive stopper by any means. But I think last season, he reached a point where he was reliable. He wasn't necessarily changing the game that way, but I felt like, sure, he's a target, but he could hold his own for the most part. This year, he has not been that. This year, it is a step back in terms of his defense. And that, again, probably comes back to losing 13 pounds unexpectedly and just having really a nightmarish season. And again, just to finish out with giving D'Lo some credit, I do think he has grown a lot with the Lakers. He's having a great, great year. But DG at his best, he's a high-scoring, high-assist guard who, if he stays in Cleveland, will be on a top-seeded team. I think you could see another all-star season in his future pretty easily if things start to fall his way again rather than going the exact opposite throughout the year.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. But I want to give D'Lo his flowers, because after that Nugget series last season, I was so out on him. I was like, hey man, we got to get this dude out of here. Like, he can't, like, we have to play them. He cannot play the series. Like, he's going to get torched, and he wants to hit. So it's like, what are you even doing? But this season, he's been so much better, man. He's been arguably, I think you could say he's probably been the third best Laker all year.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think he's been honestly consistently the third best Laker for the majority of the season. Obviously, Austin's had some moments, and he's been really good sometimes. And Rui's been really playing well since he's been back in the starting lineup. The offense has been good since they've been back in the starting lineup. Can't defend anybody, but D'Lo's been really good. He's been really good this season.
Yeah, it seems like whenever I do watch the Lakers, it feels like, and maybe I'm way off on this, but it feels like he's improved so much as a catch and shoot guy. Not that he's necessarily a motion shooter, but those no dip threes that he makes, I'm like, I don't remember him ever doing anything like that before. So D'Lo, I've always liked D'Lo. I'm glad that he's seeing some success in LA, even if the team is, struggling a little bit here and there.